In the vast sky above the imperial city, the wind howled like a restless spirit, and two figures stood facing each other amid the clouds. Ling Han's lips curved into a calm, almost indifferent smile. His gaze was steady, sharp as a drawn blade. The ones who will die here today, he said slowly, his voice carrying across the sky, will only be the two of you. Bullshit! Xian Yu Cheng roared in fury, his arms spread wide as he lunged forward, his fingers clawing through the air as he tried to seize Ling Han. Yet the moment he moved, his expression changed. This human was astonishingly fast. Even more troubling was the power within Ling Han's body. His physique was unbelievably sturdy, and every movement radiated a strength that made even Xian Yu Cheng wary. This was not an opponent that could be crushed casually. Since the battle had risen into the open sky, Ling Han no longer had any hesitation. His aura erupted like a storm breaking loose from the mountains, and he charged straight toward Xian Yu Cheng. The clash came instantly. Peng! 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 Fists collided with flesh. The sound of impact echoed through the heavens like thunder rolling across the clouds. The two combatants closed the distance and began fighting at point-blank range. Their battle no longer resembled the elegant exchanges of supreme elites. Instead, it looked like two street fighters locked in brutal brawling. Punches crashed into ribs, kicks lashed through the air, elbows struck like hammers. Neither cared for technique or appearance, only raw violence. Yet after trading blows for some time, both men suddenly retreated at almost the exact same moment, as if an unspoken agreement had been reached. This kind of fighting would never reach a conclusion. Ling Han's body had already reached the hardness of ninth-tier rare metal, but Xian Yu Cheng was not weak either. Every punch Ling Han delivered struck solidly, yet Xian Yu Cheng's body endured them without suffering serious damage. That was the terrifying strength of an ancient true dragon's bloodline. Though Xian Yu Cheng possessed only a pitiful trace of ancestral dragon blood, even a tiny strand of that blood was enough to transform his physique. It elevated his body to a shocking level, roughly equivalent to rare gold of his cultivation tier. Before that bloodline reached its ultimate potential, he was already a top-class body cultivator. This was the natural advantage of the Sea Race's royal family. From birth, they stood above others. No wonder the Sea Race carried themselves with such pride. Their strength was embedded within their very blood. Ling Han rubbed his hands together. Instantly, a brilliant golden light spread across the sky. At the same moment, two powers activated together. The Earth Overturning Seal and the Eye of Truth. Ling Han did not believe that every inch of his opponent's body had been tempered to perfection. Somewhere, there had to be a weakness. Xian Yu Cheng also lifted his hands. An eerie transformation occurred. His fingers lengthened, the skin shifting as scales shimmered across the surface. His palms twisted into sharp, curved talons, glowing with a cyan luster. Dragon claws. Because his bloodline was incomplete, he could only transform his two hands into dragon form. And even that transformation could only be maintained for a limited time. But the claws of a dragon were known as the most terrifying weapon in the world. To them, breaking metal and shattering jade was nothing more than child's play. Both warriors had now unleashed greater power. They stared at each other across the sky for a heartbeat. Then they charged. Hung! Hung! The Earth Overturning Seal smashed directly against the cyan dragon claws. Every collision released a dazzling burst of golden and azure brilliance that exploded across the sky like fireworks of pure energy. From the streets far below, the citizens of the entire imperial city could see the violent flashes lighting up the heavens. Xian Yu Cheng threw back his head and laughed. Ha ha! Human, your physique truly is impressive. Your battle prowess is also strong. But your greatest weakness remains your cultivation tier. His eyes gleamed coldly. You are only at the deity transformation tier. The dragon claws clashed continuously with the Earth Overturning Seal. In fact, the claws even held a slight advantage. More importantly, Xian Yu Cheng's raw power completely overwhelmed Ling Han's. Is that so? Ling Han inhaled deeply. At that instant, a mysterious force surged through his body. The power of the nation. The blessing of fortune descended upon him. His aura skyrocketed. Battle prowess could be increased through many methods: martial techniques, secret arts, medicinal pills, and external forces. The concept was simple. just as a warrior wielding a wooden sword could never match the strength of someone holding a blade forged from steel. The power of the nation was pure strength. At this moment, the Great Ling Empire had already unified the entire northern region. This unity granted Ling Han a tremendous boost, 5 stars of additional battle power. In truth, it was the Empire's accumulated fortune that forcibly elevated his strength by 5 stars. In a sense, it resembled the Black Tower's power boost, only it was slightly weaker. With this sudden increase, Ling Han still could not rival the true strength of a high-level heaven-tier expert. But he was no longer far from that realm. Ling Han stepped forward. The Demon Fairy step activated. At the same time, the thunderclap ninth heaven burst into motion. His figure flickered across the sky like a phantom. Like a wandering ghost within a storm of lightning, he circled Xian Yucheng with unbelievable speed, using the Eye of Truth to search for weaknesses while launching relentless attacks. Xian Yucheng possessed true dragon blood, but he was not an actual dragon. An even aerial dragon would still have vulnerable points. Ling Han struck precisely at those weaknesses. Bang! 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 Each attack landed with brutal accuracy. Xian Yucheng's body trembled violently as the strikes connected. He immediately screamed in pain. Blood burst from multiple wounds across his body. Ling Han had found the flaws in his defense and began beating him, mercilessly. "You've infuriated me." Xian Yucheng's eyes turned crimson with rage. He was a royal prince of the North Sea, a descendant of the true dragon. How exalted was his status? How many people in the world dared to even look him in the eye? And yet now, he was being beaten like a dog by an insignificant human. He could not accept this humiliation. With a furious roar, he dropped to one knee in midair. The muscles across his body bulged violently. The 2 small horn-like bumps atop his head began emitting faint light. Ling Han glanced at him and sneered. "Are you constipated?" Xian Yucheng ignored the mockery completely. He closed his eyes and drew in a deep breath. Then, wang! A massive shadow suddenly appeared behind him. It stretched more than 3,000 meters long. The shape of a dragon rose into the sky. The enormous phantom coiled upward like a mountain of living power. It was an azure dragon. Its body was vivid and lifelike. Even the whiskers beside its mouth seemed to sway with the surrounding airflow. The sight was awe-inspiring. Ling Han's expression turned serious. Without hesitation, he summoned the Revere Life Sword. "Lord Ancestral Dragon." Xian Yucheng roared toward the heavens. "Please assist me in annihilating this human." With that cry, he charged toward Ling Han once more. At the same moment, the colossal dragon shadow in the sky also moved. It descended toward Ling Han like a falling star. A terrifying pressure spread outward. Within that power, there was a faint trace of the might belonging to the shattering void tier. Ling Han's thoughts flashed rapidly. Should he use the Black Tower's power boost? He immediately shook his head. Using the Black Tower's strength against a high-level heaven tier opponent would truly be a waste. If Xian Yucheng had heard that thought, he would probably have exploded with rage. A high-level heaven tier elite? How many such experts existed in the entire world? But Ling Han remained calm. It was only a trace of shattering void tier power. He would face it head-on. His sword slashed forward. His right hand executed the profound technique known as 10,000 techniques returned to one. At the same time, his left hand unleashed the earth-overturning seal. And within that seal, the demonic pattern activated. A fragment of the power of laws attached itself to the attack. Reckless! Xian Yucheng sneered. He had summoned ancestral blood. Only members of the royal family who had reached the heaven tier could perform such a technique. The strength of the true dragon shadow depended on the purity of the bloodline. The strongest could even reach the 9th layer of the shattering void tier. Of course, because of the world's suppression, it could never truly break through to the divine realm. But regardless, this was the sea race's ultimate technique. A terrifying trump card. The shattering void tier. The strongest power in the world. Hong? Ling Han and Xian Yucheng collided once again. An unimaginably violent surge of qi erupted outward. Blinding light burst across the sky. It exploded like a miniature sun above the imperial city. For a moment, everyone below could see nothing but pure brilliance. Their eyes were completely blinded by the dazzling explosion. Then, the light faded. Ling Han's body flew backward through the sky. He was sent at least 3,000 meters away. Blood covered his entire body. His arms twisted at unnatural angles. His chest had caved inward. Clearly, the bones in both arms and the ribs in his chest had all been shattered. The power of the true dragon shadow was terrifying. With a single strike, it had severely wounded Ling Han, and this was a man whose body possessed the hardness of ninth-tier rare metal. Ha ha! Xian Yucheng laughed wildly as he rushed forward. You overestimate yourself. He intended to finish the battle. He would behead this terrifying human right now. Yet, it isn't much. Ling Han's calm voice drifted through the sky. Xian Yucheng froze. Ling Han slowly spread his arms. The horrifying injuries across his body began healing before the naked eye. The collapsed chest rose back into shape. Broken bones reconnected. Cracks sealed. Within moments, the damage had almost completely disappeared. Diamond Body. This was one of the mystical abilities contained within the indestructible Heavens Scroll. Strengthening the body was only one aspect. Its most terrifying feature was the overwhelming power of recovery. You could injure me 10,000 times, but I could recover 10,000 times. What then? What? Xian Yucheng stuttered in shock. Was this human some kind of monster? He had just suffered such devastating injuries. Yet he recovered instantly. Was he really human? Or was he secretly a member of the Silver Moon race? The race famous for terrifying regeneration? No, even the Silver Moon race shouldn't recover this quickly. Ling Han calmly raised the Revere Life Sword. His gaze turned sharp. The battle, he said quietly, has only just begun. Xian Yucheng took a deep breath and forced himself to calm down. To recover instantly from such heavy injuries? His eyes narrowed. You must have paid an enormous price, and you definitely cannot use that power many times. With that conclusion, he launched another attack. He intended to push Ling Han beyond his limits. The storm of battle resumed in the skies above the imperial city. A tempest of martial fury tore through the sky, the heavens themselves trembling beneath the clash of titanic wills. Xian Yucheng's mind raced, a knot of disbelief tightening within him. To think that the human before him could recover from such cataclysmic blows. It defied reason, logic, and the very laws of combat he had known. 10,000 years of toil had been spent on the indestructible Heaven Scroll's first layer, culminating in the Diamond Body. Only a power of unparalleled restoration could justify such painstaking cultivation. And yet, here it stood incarnate, alive, laughing at pain itself. Ling Han's eyes gleamed with fierce determination, a storm contained within mortal form. 3 mystical powers had already been unleashed: the earth-overturning seal, the thunderclap ninth heaven, and the 10,000 techniques returned to one. And still he pressed forward. A sword ray 3 meters in length erupted like a silver dragon from his hands, cleaving the air with a shriek that made the heavens flinch. Die, 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 roared Xian Yucheng, manifesting the true dragon's shadow, its phantom scales glimmering with residual martial intent. Peng! The impact hurled Ling Han backward, 3,000 meters across the void, bones shattering yet spirit unbroken. He rose with a serene smile, eyes glinting like lightning. As expected, he murmured, voice calm amid chaos. A shadow of power cannot fell the body of lightning. A shred of martial intent, yes, but insufficient to sunder me. Even your ultimate cannot touch the core of my being. Xian Yucheng's fury boiled, his ancestral blood searing within him as he struck again and again. Each swing carried the weight of a shattering void tear, each claw a promise of annihilation. Yet Ling Han advanced unflinchingly, his strikes poised, his attacks precise. The human's counterstrike was a blade that pierced the tempest itself, forcing the dragon's shadow to expend all its borrowed might. The air between them thickened with energy, a storm of chaos and darkness. The mortal's recovery was maddening, relentless, unyielding. Even the most treasured elixirs, the most potent of medicinal marvels, could not match the speed at which Ling Han restored himself. Xian Yucheng's expression twisted with disbelief. A lifetime of martial wisdom could not account for such inexhaustible regeneration. His ancestral blood, now spent, flickered out like dying embers, leaving him powerless to continue the ultimate assault. Ling Han's lips curled in a smile of quiet triumph. Old man, at your wit's end? He teased, every syllable a blade of mockery. Xian Yucheng roared, fury mingled with shame, yet no words could pierce the human's calm. Exhaustion began to erode his strikes, while Ling Han, nourished by the diamond body and untapped reservoirs of indestructible true fluid, remained a figure of untouchable resilience. 3 days of unrelenting combat saw Xian Yu Cheng's strength finally wane. The true dragon's shadow flickered, then vanished, a testament to the depletion of his ancestral blood. Humiliation mingled with fury as he realized escape was impossible. Ling Han's form blurred, enhanced by the thunderclap ninth heaven, moving faster than the retreating dragon, closing the distance with inescapable precision. You dare flee? Ling Han's voice cut through the wind like a divine bell. The Revere life sword shimmered, etched with deadly formations capable of wounding even the most fortified physiques. Each strike was a measured trap, designed to sap strength, to exhaust the prideful warrior who had once believed himself untouchable. Xian Yu Cheng fought desperately, but the human's speed, his regenerative mastery, and strategic cunning corralled him inexorably. The Northern Sea Royal, face pale with mounting dread, could only seethe as the inescapable truth pressed upon him. He would be a captive. Power meant nothing against a force that would not yield, against a body that could defy injury, against a will owned sharper than any sword. Ling Han's command rang clear across the imperial city, resonating in every heart. Escort him to the east gate. This emperor will kill them personally. The citizens' cries of awe and loyalty followed, a chorus that declared the great Ling Empire invincible, its emperor unchallengeable. Xian Yu Cheng, trembling, realized for the first time the human's audacity. Yes, he dared. And now, even the mightiest dragon could be subdued. With a single gesture, Ling Han ordered his subordinates, the captives bound yet alive, the imperial city ablaze with the revelation of true power. The battle was over, but the legend of this day, of mortal indomitable, of recovery beyond comprehension, of lightning incarnate, would thunder through history forever.